Hey there, it's Missy again, and I have another layout for my guest design spot over at Scrapbook Circle today. And I'm using the main One Fine Day kit for April and a mixture of the two embellishment add-on kits. And so I've decided to go with all these bright colors today. I've got a mix of products. I want to incorporate well, my background's going to be white cardstock, but I'm going to incorporate this really pretty Dear Lizzy striped paper with a lot of those washi tape strips from the Pink Fresh Studio collection. And I might use this sheet here with all those different color lines on it. I wasn't sure yet. And I've got a black and white picture because I'm going to use all sorts of colors. So I wanted the picture to pop, and I didn't want it to compete with all of these colors. So I'm just going to start with the washi tape strips, and I'm just going to create sort of a little grid here for my picture to sit on. And I'm just going to use a lot of them. I'm going to go with the pinks, the yellows, the greens, the blues, and that really pretty peach color, or coral color, I guess you could say. And I just want to make sure I get them straight because I want this to be a grid. And, you know, when you're working with a grid, you don't want crooked lines. So it takes me a while to get this yellow piece down. I couldn't get it straight for anything, so I finally get it. And as I was doing this, I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do to the right-hand side of the layout. I just knew that I wanted this washi tape grid here, and I didn't want the photo directly in the middle of the page. So I'm just peeling and sticking. And I wasn't really thinking too much about, you know, what I was going to do after this was done. I just knew that I loved how it was looking as I was sticking all this tape down. And I love the mix of colors. I love that there's some leaves and there's some stripes. Just a very, very cool product. And I really hope that Pink Fresh Studio keeps doing this with their newer collections. So I love how that looks. It's very bright. It's even brighter in person than it is using these desk lamps. So this is one of the Webster's Pages pattern papers, and it's this cut apart sheet here. And I love how that floral piece looks with all that washi tape. It just matches. It's perfect, and it's totally different. It's floral, and everything else is just stripes, and you know, it's totally different. But the colors make it work. It's so pretty. And so I cut apart the floral piece, that dark charcoal gray piece that I'm going to layer behind it, and then that sunset piece. And I just love how these colors work together. And then that title is going to go right up there, and it matches perfectly as well. So that's kind of how the design's going to go. And I didn't even really plan that. It just sort of happened. I was flipping through the pages, and that Webster's Pages paper just jumped out at me, and I thought, okay, these are the perfect colors. They match. So I cut a couple of little pieces from the Happy Place 6x6 paper pad that I'm going to use as well. And I'm not going to use any other papers behind my picture, just a little bit of tissue paper, just to give it a little separation. And I love how it's turning out so far. I do want to add some paint and some inks, and so I'm just going to use clear gesso. Now, clear gesso is great, especially if you're going for, you know, if you have a white background like this, and I didn't want to cover up any of the washi tape. So if I would have used white, it would have faded out some of that color, and I didn't want it to. So that's why I use the clear, because it does not change any of the color of anything that you already have on the background. Now, the clear gesso does dry a little bit grittier, and so it's very, you know, if you touch it, it's going to kind of rub off on your hand a little bit, which to me, it doesn't bother me because it just gives it extra texture. So this is just one or two, well, I guess two of my blue shades of gelatos that I have in my stash. I'm just using the packaging technique, and then I'm going to come in with some of my Shimmers products here and add some ink to it. And I'm going to use my water brush, and I do this a lot. This is nothing new. And I do want it to overlap the tape a little bit. I don't want it to take away from all that pretty color. I just want to enhance the color. And so I felt like it needed more blue. Since all of the cut apart pieces that I'm going to use on the right, there's no blue in there. I've got lots of pink and green and that sunset. I think it's more of the peachy and yellows. And so I thought, okay, blue's the perfect color to come in with the background because I don't have a lot of that color already on the page. And I like to contrast, things like that. I didn't, I felt like if I would have used pink on the background, it would have just been pink overkill because I've got, some predominant strips of pink on the tape, and then I've got that floral cut apart card, and that's enough pink. That's plenty of pink. I just felt like it needed the blue to contrast, if that makes any sense. And I do add some more yellow here, but I don't feel like there's a whole ton of yellow. I did some stitching, and that is just a gray colored thread there, and I just kind of did a little crisscross with my sewing machine there to kind of mimic the tape. And then I'm going to add these darker elements here. I think that using the gray thread it contrasts nicely with all those bright colors because I've already got, like I just said, I've already got enough pink. And now I have enough blue. And so I thought any of those colors of thread would sort of just be too much. And so I feel like the gray sort of pulls out the gray in that cut apart sheet that I used as a layer, and it also pulls out the gray from the photo. And it kind of enhances my messy factor. This layout's a perfect example of how I describe my style. I've got neat and orderly. The washi tape is just perfectly straight, and then the cut apart sheets are perfectly even, and the stitching is nice and straight, and then I've got all this messiness going on. The background is messy, the thread is messy. I just like neat meets messy. I don't know any other way to say that, but I love that look. And I don't wind up using the hello, hello, hello little square there, but I do use this gorgeous, I've been hoarding these. Oh man, I love these crepe paper fringe hearts. I finally made myself use one, and I definitely want to ruffle up the fringe. I've been looking for some fringe scissors. When I never thought I would use those, I saw them everywhere, and I'm dying to buy some because I want to make my own fringe hearts. And every time I go to Michael's, I look, and I can't find them. It seems like they are sort of getting rid of their Martha Stewart section, and they've divided everything up all over the store, and I cannot find those scissors. So let me know if you find them in your Michael's, because I look almost once a week every time I go in there, and I cannot find them. So I'm going to use that Live Colorfully. That's a Dear Lizzie, and it's the perfect color. I didn't have to do anything with it. It's got the mix of all the colors that I'm using, and I think it's so, so pretty. And I love the fact that I've got tons of color going on, so it makes sense. And this is the little Dear Lizzie sentiment stickers. Everything I never want to forget. And then I think I add another one underneath the photo. Yes. Hello there, love. And then I'm going to also add in that I love you Ellie's Studio piece. And then I forgot about this piece. This is the piece that I was inspired by in the very beginning. I tend to do that a lot. I pick out the piece right away that I want to use, and then I put it aside, and I forget to use it. I've done that on numerous occasions, but I do want to use it, and so I remembered that I'm going to add in just a little bit of that striped element, and I'm going to put it right up here at the top, and I'm going to sort of add another strip, which is the back of it. It's a really pretty blue, I believe it's a sky. Just to add a little bit of color up at the top, and I am going to stitch through that. And it just gives a little bit of something at the top without being too much. I'm going to come in with some gray or tinsel ink splatters here. And again, that's the darker element, sort of echoing the photo, and then that darker gray piece on the left. And there's my stitching. Very simple. I just did a straight stitch and a little bit of zigzag and a little bit of stitching through the Dear Lizzie stickers and a little bit on the floral cut apart piece. And then I'm going to draw some lines and add my journaling, and that is going to be it. I had a lot of fun putting this together. It's very different than any other design I feel like I've ever done, and I love how it turned out. I love the colors. I love the products. That washi tape was so much fun. The French heart, the pre-made title, it's just, it all works together so nicely. Make sure you check out Scrapbook Circle, and I'll keep the info and the links below. Let me know if you have any questions about any of these products or any of the techniques that I did. I hope you guys have a great and wonderful week, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching.